And yeah, perfect. There's a recording. Happy Pride Month. Big deal for us. We're a big partner in Pride, and we support all their events across Canada. At least most of them, especially the ones in Toronto, Halifax, and out west. So it's a big deal for us. I'm Jonathan DePasquale. I'm one of the team members here at IRC. I'm going to be walking you through the instant risk platform, getting you guys up to speed. But I've also included my coworker Jen here, and I'll let her jump in and sort of explain what she does.
Hi, everyone. Great to meet you, and thanks for having us. So my name is Jen Morin. I am the Customer Success Manager here at IRC. So a partnership with IRC means you get someone like me every step of the way to support you. And we really strive to be that long-term partner, weeks, months, and years down the road. So being that point of contact with you to make sure that our programs are truly bringing value to the work that you do, that you're feeling good about the program, that it's meeting the needs of your communities, that's what I'm here for. So I set up checkpoints. I really like to be proactive with our communications, but answer any questions that you have, tackling challenges along the way. And ultimately, we want to be growing with you as partners. So that's why I'm excited to be in this role and to be here today.
Awesome. Yeah, IRC is not just an insurance provider. We're actually a partner with event organizers, and a lot of us are actually ex-event organizers or current event organizers. So we take a lot of pride in this program and what we do. This is really the primary thing that we do. So right now, looks like everyone can see my screen. So I'm going to do a walkthrough of how the IRC portal will work today. We do this in partnership with Hub. So with us, we always have a top tier broker involved in our relationships, and we think there's a huge importance to having a broker tied to any insurance relationship. Gives you sort of someone that can help support you through the insurance process, especially as your needs develop. Jen will be here. She'll tackle some questions in the chat and I'll support as well. But feel free to ask your questions as you go in the chat. We want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable and we're tackling everything sort of in real time. Awesome. So right now we're looking at the CLMA, Canadian Live Music Association's landing page for instant risk coverage. Here, very simple. Sign up is easy. We're just collecting your first name, last name, email, contact, and phone number, and you can sign right in. When a user signs in, they land right into the insurance application. But what's great and important to us is you have access to all your policy wordings, all your supporting documents, as well as a great set of tools that are fully available. So tools to help you guys run your events, support your events. They're all free to use. Whether you use our insurance program or not, you have access to these tools. The most important piece here that seems to be sort of forgotten when a technology partner gets involved in this type of business is support. So we actually support our platform 24/7. That means you're going to be talking to someone, whether you email, phone in, or chat with our chat team based here in Canada. Someone who has a background in events, facilitating events, and understanding the insurance process. So they're always readily available to support you through the process. So to be clear, sorry, I see a question there around brick and mortar venues. If you're a brick and mortar venue and you want to have access to this insurance program, happy to chat later. We set these things up and support you guys. But this program right now, we're talking about what's available for people doing events sort of on the fly. And our last tab here is our account information. We're going to adjust our account information. You can see here our application information is actually pre-populated. So you can see my name in here with my address, and I can sit next and I can add any facility across Canada. We do also run this program in the US, but today we're talking about Canadian live music, Canadian events. That's what's important to us right now. We're going to do an event taking place at a Toronto Rec Center. All right. You can see all our information populates there, and then we have the ability to start selecting our activity types. So unlike most programs where they just cover the event, we actually support vendors. So whether you're a band, busker, someone coming into the event space to support as well, you can select our vendor options or add multiple vendors to support your event. So if you have food trucks there, other entities, that all need insurance, whether they're not able to present that to you, they can select that here and purchase insurance at a low daily cost. For today's example, though, we're just going to do a room event or a outdoor event. In our case, we're just going to keep it simple with an art festival. And so with an art festival, you can see our question path is dramatically reduced. We're doing a single event, and we have the ability as IRC to add alcohol coverage to our event. So whether the venue's serving alcohol, whether we're serving alcohol, so we're serving it to the guests. We also allow cannabis consumption. So we do food and beverage cannabis, so if you're doing any cannabis halls or you have a cannabis hall attending your event, that's stuff that we can support and make it accessible to your patrons. For this example, I'm going to select no alcohol or cannabis. We're going to set a very basic limit of 2 or 5. So with IRC, we only provide limits of 2 or 5. But if you have a bigger event, so say your event surpasses 3,000 people, or you need a limit of $10 million, right in here, we can access our event applications and submit that into our support team. And so our support team will turn around those applications in 24 hours if you go outside the online system. So that's quote bound issue all within 24 hours outside of the online portal. Where our online portal, that's an instant transaction. We're entering the number of people of our art show, and now we're entering our event dates. What's very unique for IRC when it comes to event dates is you're going to see something here. Setup and teardown times are automatically covered in this policy. We're event organizers as well, and we all know no one knows when they're going to set up. No one knows when they're going to actually tear down. Everyone forgets stuff on site. Why would you be punished on an insurance program having to go get additional insurance just to pick up a ladder? So with us, we make sure that setup and teardown times are automatically included. So for our art show that's happening, or art festival, we're going to do it happening tomorrow at 1:45 p.m. going till, let's say, 9:30 p.m. What's really funky here is you notice I put in very exact time. It's because how we work differently than other people in the space is we charge by utilization. So for a long time, small events in the Canadian space have always been punished paying flat daily rates. That's changed completely with us. So you're paying for insurance that you only need. You're not overpaying, you're not buying extra insurance. So if you're a small event organizer, we've now made insurance feasible for you guys. Perfect. Our details are in here. We're hitting next. And you'll notice here we're reviewing our information. What's great about this is you notice that we have our dreaded insurance questions here. Great news for you. If you hover over any of our question bubbles, what you'll see is that this question's been brought down to a grade 3 reading level, meaning you don't have an insurance background. How could we expect you to understand an insurance question unless we bring it down to a palatable level? I'm not going to waste everyone's time and run through our insurance questions. I sort of know the answers off the top of my head, so I'm going to select yes and proceed forward. And from there, we're generating a quote. So nice and simple. It's not going to someone to look at. It's not being reviewed. A quote's being generated in real time. So for our art show, or sorry, art festival that's happening, we can see our quote for our insurance is $41.06. So with IRC, when we present a price, it is always the total all-in price. So this means, doesn't matter what your region is, this includes taxes. Doesn't matter if I pay this with an American Express card, I pay it with a debit card, or I finance it. It's going to be the same price. Everything looks good here, but you know what? If we made an error, we can change it. We don't have to start again. But I'm happy with my application. I'm going to click purchase, and I have 4 agree to questions. Once I agree to those questions, I can select checkout. And now this is the actual member page right now on the checkout. If I want to run a transaction, I would have to put in a credit card and proceed that way. But what I've done actually is I've set one up on our demo page. So you can see me run a real transaction in real time now to get an idea of how this works. So what you can see here is I'm actually on a Google browser, so I could Google Pay this. If I was on my iPhone, I could Apple Pay it. What's great is we're actually plugged in with our partners at CLMA and Afterpay. So if we wanted to finance these options, we get instant financing. So this total for this event is very cheap. This is a smaller event I did just earlier, which was $5.33, but I could finance it for $1.33 a month or select into Afterpay and do that. So there's always payment options available for you here. We know as event organizers, you don't get paid until after your event happens. So we want to make it as easy as possible for you guys to make an insurance purchase. Today, we're just going to use a demo Visa card. So unfortunately, the Visa card number I'm entering is not going to buy you anything cool on Amazon. It's just going to allow us to run this transaction today. Perfect. Our details are in there. Everything looks good. We're going to click pay. We're waiting for a green check mark. Green check mark comes in. Insurance funds have been collected. Insurance document available for you here to download. We can click into it and we can see everything that's covered. So we're good to go. You can purchase something for your event leading 5 minutes up until of it, or up to 365 days in advance. Now, I know I ran through this at light speed. I want to give our friends at Front Row as much of an opportunity to present their stuff as well. So I want to keep it short, but if you have questions, comments, concerns, the IRC team's always here for you. We're event organizers. We get it. Happy to jump on a call, happy to chat over email. We want to make you guys as comfortable as possible with our partners here at Hub.
Amazing. Thank you, Jonathan. And for our audience as well, we will have a question and answer period at the end of, or toward the end of the session, rather. Jason, I see you're here. Can you just give me a thumbs up if everything's running correctly? Amazing. That's the best news. Okay, so I'm going to throw it over to our friends at Front Row. We have a couple of people here. Jason, Neil, and Amy are going to be joining us to talk about their part of the CLMA insurance program. All right. That should allow you to go, Jason. Is everything looking good on your end? Alrighty. I'll throw it to you.
Great, Maddie. Thank you so much. We'll just let that load. Perfect. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for attending today's session. My name is Neil McPherson, and I'm representing Front Row Insurance Brokers. We're a national insurance broker and one of CLMA's insurance partners. My colleagues and I are excited to engage with you today. In our presentation, we'll go over an overview of our online policy portal, where you can purchase a policy instantly, and as members, you have access to. Additionally, today, we'll highlight some of the features and services we provide nationally for companies operating in the Canadian music industry. I'll start with a quick overview of our company, as well as introduce our speakers today. Some of you may be familiar with our company when we were known as Shepherd Ashmore Insurance. In 2023, we merged with Front Row to strengthen Canada's leading insurance broker, solely focused on the entertainment industry. We've been leaders in the entertainment insurance space for over 35 years and continue to strive to be leaders throughout innovation, technology, and efficiencies. We pride ourselves in providing insurance solutions for all operations and aspects in the industry, from performers, artists, and venues to everything in between. At Front Row, we have strong relationships with a variety of insurance markets across North America and Europe, and have created a specific program for the Canadian music insurance industry, and it has been running for over 15 years. This expertise allows us to respond quickly in creating unique insurance programs and risk transfer solutions that you require. Front Row are also proud members of the Event Safety Alliance, one of the partner associations with the CLMA, with the goal to help reduce and mitigate risk while understanding your goal of creating a safe and fun event. Protection you receive doesn't stop just at the insurance policy. Presenting with me today are my colleagues, Amy Dutt and Jason Rouleau. Amy is an account executive that's been with the company for nearly 12 years, providing exceptional service and tailored insurance solutions. Her deep understanding of the music industry and insurance shows her commitment to our clients and a standout professional in our field. Jason is our online services manager. Before joining Front Row, Jason worked in the entertainment industry for over 15 years in a variety of roles, including promoter rep, production manager, talent buyer, ticketing manager, and music industry instructor. And with that, I'll pass it over to Jason to walk through our online offering.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, thanks for that intro, Neil. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly kind of talk about our the online with that we've done specifically with CLMA. So we have clma.quickpolicy.ca. That was a domain that we have on our that we created just kind of for this partnership. I'll bring it up here. There we go. So yeah, this is the custom domain that we have for them. And this has all the discounts and everything built in as part of that partnership with CLMA. It's kind of like a little bit of just a landing page here for just about anything that you might need. So, you have your short-term and one-off policies for events. So this is usually for like smaller events. This will take you to, there is a landing page for each of these programs under the CLMA banner. So this will take you to clma.eventpolicy.ca for bands themselves, clma.bandpolicy.ca. But all you really need to remember is clma.quickpolicy.ca. And I think this is all available through the CLMA site. But yes, we have programs for events, bands, DJs, your AV techs, as well as studios as well. So this will allow you to go and get kind of instant quotes. We kind of walked through one of those portals there with RC, and it's a very similar process I can show you momentarily. But yeah, the idea is that you can get instant quotes, instant policies. You've got your COI. You're kind of off to the races. For just a little bit further down here, we talk a little bit about what other options we have available. Neil kind of alluded to what other programs we do have available. We do write our own programs in-house as well. So Front Row and before that, Shepherd Ashmore has been around for a long time. And if you talk to just almost anyone in the music industry, especially on the West Coast, and more and more on the East Coast as well, you're going to hear someone be like, "Oh yeah, I remember Shepherd Ashmore. We deal with them all the time." So I've definitely run into that a few times since joining. So I did only join Front Row in November, and it was funny because all of my pals in the music industry were like, "Oh, nice. I'm glad you're there. We deal with them all the time." So that was kind of cool. So yeah, we do, it's a pretty, full package as far as that goes. If you want to talk about annual event policies, so if you're, a promoter or production manager, things like that, that won't go through the online program. That gets taken to a custom quote, which we can do for you through one of our in-house programs. And Amy will talk about that in just a little bit here. But also camera policies, gear policies. So if you're renting gear, anything like that. And if you need anything different, just let us know what it is. If it has to do with entertainment, we can probably do it, or we probably already do it. And then this is just kind of our intro, how to contact us, everything like that. So I will quickly show you, we'll walk through get a quote for an event. So we're at the CLMA website. And you can start by just putting in your event owner. So if you are the city of Vancouver, or if you're renting any park, any community center, any school, anything like that, anything that's run by the city of Vancouver or North Vancouver, anything like that. So we'll just say city of North Vancouver. It all falls under that. So this system was built coming up on, 14 years ago, I want to say. In conjunction with the municipality of Vancouver. So it is built for dealing with cities. It's so nice for dealing with cities. Pretty simple. You can choose one date or a range of dates. So, and it has some little bit of information here. And it'll ask you kind of your basic, are you an individual, corporation, nonprofit? You can put in your membership, your name. Have you suffered any claims? So you do not need to declare the additional insured. They're automatically added through our program here. So one of the big problems that we see, especially with people renting spaces, is they're not really sure what the additional insured is, who the certificate holder is. So we kind of just deal with all of that for them. Once the venue's in our system, all of that information is available there, and it's already on the certificate for them. One of the cool things that we can do through here is we can do, your regular special events and like our regular concerts and things like that, but we can also do sports. And that kind of sets us apart from a lot of other portals is that we are able to do sports. So if you are throwing a festival and you are, you are doing some sort of a sporting event there for some reason, talk to us because we can check that out. Are you building any temporary structures or rides? Maybe we'll say no for now. We're going to say we're not rigging, and we're going to say we need 2 million. Special events, there is a lot of options. I'm not going to run through them all, but there's a ton. So, and if it's not on here, we do have a nice little chat feature where you can talk to a licensed insurance broker, and they'll help you through finishing up that transaction as well. So, and the same goes for any of these portals. If you're a band, if you're a DJ, if you're an AV tech, you can talk to someone who is licensed in insurance to help you through that process. And if it's not a fit for the online program, which is a little bit more strict as far as the guidelines go, we can get a custom quote. So it's very easy for just about anyone. If you're in entertainment, we can figure it out for you. So, but if it doesn't fit on one of those online programs, you end up talking to someone like Amy. So I will pass it off to Amy.
Hi, everyone. I couldn't log in from mine, which is why it says Peter, but I'm not Peter. So some of the in-house stuff that we do is like we do it online as festivals, but sometimes the attendance numbers are too high, so we would have to bring that in-house. And when it comes to insuring festivals, we are your one-stop shop. Our policies can include liability, owned and rented or permanently installed equipment, including rented stages and production equipment. We can also add non-owned auto insurance for rented vehicles, ATVs, and golf carts that are on site, along with vehicles that are sometimes needed to transport artists from the airport to the venue or the hotel to the venue. Our coverage can also extend to include volunteers and individuals who you have contracted to work at the event. One of the unique advantages that we have is that we are able to include festivals that have camping. And then event cancellation and non-appearance is also something we can provide along with rain cover. And then we also do a lot of our clients are promoters and production companies. So I'll just let Jason go to the next slide. So event insurance is essential for companies that own or produce events, ensuring financial protection against unexpected risks. For promoters, the annual policies are adjusted at the end of the term. So we base those on what your estimated attendance is going to be for all of your events throughout the year. And then when the policy is renewing, we'll ask you for your actual numbers, and then an audit is done. We can also do short-term promoter policies. And then if it's like a tour related to a specific tour, so like a variety of like days. And then with commercial general liability limits, we have limits of up to 20 million that we can do along with equipment. Coverage can be amended to include short-term rented equipment, and there are options again for cancellation and non-appearance for single events or full tours. We can now also provide cancellation coverage on an annual basis, and that's just would be based on what your budget is for the full year for all of your events. And then on the production side, policies can include errors and emissions liability to cover financial loss to third parties, as well as protection for owned and rented equipment. Additionally, the named insured can encompass both the production company and its client, ensuring comprehensive coverage across all aspects of event management. Both of these types of coverages are also available again as a single event, or if it's for a tour or a date range. And then another thing that we do provide insurance for is actual venues themselves. It's comprehensive coverage for event spaces, ensuring protection against various risks. Coverage extends to include soft seat and showcase venues, including general admission events. A full package policy can cover buildings, contents, business interruption, safeguarding the venue from financial losses due to unforeseen circumstances. One of the advantages that we have is that we don't like some venues are only for events. So when there's not an event, there's nothing happening. So that isn't a deterrent for us. That doesn't, it's not something that's going to hinder the insurance that we provide. The CGL policy includes no limitations on host liquor liability, ensuring coverage for events where alcohol is served. Additionally, CGL can be extended to cover in-house security, not just third-party security contracts. Furthermore, CGL can be expanded to include self-promotion, allowing venues to protect their promotional activities. Our services also extend to include full contract reviews for promoter agreements, artist and agency riders, ensuring fairness in insurance and indemnity language. We do, like Jason was saying, we do a lot of stuff online, but if it can't fit online, it comes into the office and we can 99.9% of the time do it through our office. And again, we have the 20 million capacity for liability and property coverage. And that's it for me.
Great, thanks, Amy, and Maddie too. If we're bumping up against time, just let me know when that is. But yeah, as Amy mentioned, and as we talked about earlier, we offer insurance products that span the entire industry. We didn't go through all of those today. We highlighted a few, as Amy did, but we wanted to mention our portfolio of clients. It includes production rental houses, recording studios, music managers, AV manufacturers. What we also wanted to mention were some other insurance products, again, often handled within our office here. Some of them can be purchased online as well, but maybe ones that you just want to consider, and they do differ by your operation. Sometimes they are required to satisfy a contract though too, that should be noted. These are coverages not generally included in your property and liability policy and do need to be purchased separately. Depending on what your specific service is, they do vary. The common theme, though, is that these aren't effective risk transfer solutions for you and offer balance sheet protection. Lastly, we just wanted to share a few trends from an insurance standpoint that we're seeing in Canada and how they may affect your operations. First example is climate. This is affecting everyone, in particular in Canada. There's an increasing number of frequency and catastrophic events. The estimated insurable losses for 2024 are 8.5 billion. We continue to see exposures across all areas in Canada. Wildfire, earthquake, flooding, and hail are some of the common weather perils. Social inflation refers to the increased severity of insurance claims. These generally outpace economic inflation. One common factor that leads to these are higher jury awards. Nuclear verdicts are commonly described as jury verdicts that are above $10 million. And in Canada, we often think of these issues as only being applicable to the US. However, these are definitely becoming more focused in Canada as we see some of these examples going through the court systems. Regulators and insurers are closely monitoring the situation. While it's still somewhat early, what this could mean in the future is reviewing the limits that you purchase, especially in respect to your general liability policy. Somewhat conversely to what I just said about social inflation, commercial insurance in Canada is in a softening market cycle. And that means the supply of insurance is outpacing the demand, and it may be advantageous time to buy higher limits that were deemed too expensive a couple of years ago. Increased litigation, again, what's commonly thought is a US issue, ties in both social inflation and the nuclear verdicts, and just reinforces the need for a strong liability insurance program. A recent article by the Canadian Underwriter noted an increase in third-party litigation funding and legal advertising. Just something to be cognizant of. Finally, we continue to see increased cyber attacks on Canadian companies. These are sophisticated bad actors threatening your balance sheet and continued operations in the event of a ransomware incident, for example. Cyber insurance has quickly evolved in the Canadian marketplace with much broader coverages even compared to a couple of years ago. Lastly, I just want to thank everyone again for attending today's session, and a general thank you for your contribution to the music and entertainment industry in Canada. If you'd like to discuss anything further or general insurance inquiries, our emails are listed above. We've also included our Montreal office, who can assist for any members in Quebec. I will now turn it back over to Maddie.
Thank you so much, and fascinating insights there. Thank you for that. I will invite everyone to either drop your questions in the comment box there, or you can feel free to come off mute to ask a question, put your hand up. Alternatively, if a question comes up down the road, my email is on our CLMA website, and I'm always happy to sort of mediate between ourselves and our insurance partners for any questions that might come up along the way. I'm happy to connect. I will also point out that many of the folks on this call are not yet members. That's great. This program is both for CLMA members and for just live music community who aren't members. The difference being that there is a discounted rate for CLMA members on online policies. So something to look into if you're interested. We do, of course, offer much further benefits and discounts than just the insurance program, but it is a really exciting piece of what we do. Folks, I did have one question that was submitted ahead of the call, and now I've just lost it here. All right, so here we go. As a live music venue, we rent out our venue during downtime, and we ask our client for event insurance in general and liquor license and smart serve if they are selling alcohol. Is this the right thing to do, and what kind of coverage do we need as a venue? I'm not sure who would like to take that, but I'll put it to the floor.
That is the right thing to do. If they're renting out the venue, whoever is renting the venue from them should provide like they can go online even to purchase the insurance should provide proof of insurance like the COI, and then with our online portal with event policy, if they're renting that venue, one of the questions that is asked is if there's going to be alcohol, and then who's providing the alcohol. And so if you're doing the alcohol, if you've hired someone, it asks you the appropriate questions, and then the certificate is generated based on that. And then if like with our the CLMA event policy site, if the venue requires host liquor liability to be referenced, then we can reference it on the certificate.
Amazing. Jonathan.
I have a little bit to add there. So you guys aren't insurance professionals. So when you're accepting a certificate of insurance, it's definitely stressful. One thing to always look for is having your venue listed as additional insured on the policy, on the certificate of insurance is great. You want to make sure things are in place like a waiver of subrogation. If you're worried about checking third-party certificates of insurance, if you want, IRC has a free tool on the CLMA website that you can go to that we've set up in our portal. You can submit anyone's insurance certificate. It will let you know if it meets your venue's requirements and is actually looking out for you guys. If you were to purchase a policy through IRC, or you set up IRC as a venue owner, say you're a venue owner and we set up an IRC instant for you through the CLMA, it will always make sure that your insurance needs are taken care of. So we'll make sure that the minimum insurance requirements are met. Documents are automatically filed in your system. So whatever booking software you work with, we automatically connect in, make it nice and simple. But if you're accepting third-party insurance and you just want to do it on your own, look for those things like waivers of subrogation, additional insureds, make sure your limits are met, and basically, if it comes on a template, make sure essentially some key boxes are checked. But you have that great tool with the IRC portal that you can also upload to. Costs you nothing to use. It's part of us making the insurance space a little bit more balanced.
That's fantastic. Thank you. We do have a couple more questions in the chat there. The first one we can address relatively quickly. So Capicoa is not a part of this program, so it would not be eligible for the discount Victoria, but I will let each party speak to the discounts offered to CLMA members. So Neil, you can go ahead first.
Amy or Jason, sorry, would that be something that you'd like to speak to?
Sure.
Yeah, I can speak to that.
Yeah.
So on any of our annual online policies, there's a 5% discount that's built in for any of the CLMA members.
Beautiful thing. And that's online policies specifically. And Jonathan?
Awesome. So all our rates, if you are a non-member, you get our standard rates, which are very competitive. But if you're a CLMA member, our discount rate is 10% on the online portals. And then it is also, if we do stuff outside the online portals, you also receive 10% as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And, folks, these are companies that work directly with our community and know exactly what it is that we do on the ground. And that is the competitive advantage here. So I I'll reiterate that at every possible turn that we have, but that's a great question, Victoria. Thank you. Jessica asks, would it be possible to elaborate on how coverage works for event cancellation related to weather, public health emergencies, etc.? That's a big question, but maybe we could kind of look at it from the 30,000-foot level.
Yeah, so event cancellation, it includes adverse weather. And adverse weather is like rain, hail, windstorms, thunder, lightning. Um, so if you have an event and you can't put on the event because there's like a hailstorm or it's like high winds, that's where your event cancellation comes in. But there on the other end of that, there's also just rain coverage where there's a minimum threshold that you would have to meet in a certain time frame. And if it hits that threshold, then you can put in a claim for cancellation due to rain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I could just elaborate too. There's as Amy mentioned with some of the specific rain coverage, but also in terms of what you'd be covered for, there are options. It can be gross revenues or it could be expenses and costs only. So again, we can kind of work within, what your budget would be to buy insurance to kind of create the best possible solution on the cancellation side.
Fantastic.
Awesome. We also do event cancellation as well. We do it not on the online portal, we do it in-house. We have a smidge of a different philosophy with that. So covering the weather aspects are great, but a big piece of what we cover, especially out west, is smoke. It's very important with air levels to make sure that coverage is adequate. And then when it comes to pricing models, we do expenses and revenues, but we actually have positioned our option with daily deductibles. So if you only have one day go down, we actually reward you for that and make the cost a little bit more palatable. And then we also allow you to finance your cancellation premium. Cancellation premiums, no one likes to talk about it, but they're typically quite large. So we try to make them sort of a little bit more reasonable where you can break them out over a 12-month scheduled period. But yeah, when you bring in a cancellation opportunity, we work with you guys. We figure out what days you want to cover expenses, what days you want to cover revenues, what's your highest risk elements, and bringing in a cancellation opportunity to us, and you're looking to insure your event, we actually are able to give you additional discount on your event policy as well.
Amazing. Thank you. And thank you, Jessica, for the great question. So there was a question, will these documents be sent to viewers of this call after the call? I don't want to put you on the spot, but is that something we're able to do? The decks that you were sharing?
I can speak on our behalf. Absolutely. So we can share these decks. And I know we're a bit limited for time to be able to highlight all of our programs here at IRC. I mean, our facilities, our program and portal is the kind of meat and potatoes, but we have some really great resources to go along that we've developed, some how-to guides with video clips as well as step-by-steps. And we have some really great one-pagers about who we are as IRC, but either our special events programming, our cancellation events. We have an affiliate program as well, and for our facility user program. So really just highlights the key points and how to reach us and how to connect with us.
Awesome. So some really good user manuals on there as well, some resources. So what we can do just to keep everything in one place and as user-friendly as possible is actually just put these decks on that web page that I was linking in the chat there. And I can also like add additional links for additional resources if that works for everybody. We just want to keep it all in one place and as organized as possible for users. So again, if anybody has any additional questions, we can maybe put a little FAQ section on that page as well. That would be hopefully helpful for everyone on the user end. Perfect. I'll kill some time here, hoping that we're done with questions. If there are any more, please feel free to put your hand up now. But again, a reminder that this program is available to both CLMA members and to community, the difference being that discount that we were talking about earlier. For anybody who is on this call who is not yet a member but is interested in finding out more about what that means, I'm actually the membership girl here, so feel free to hit me up via email. I'm always happy to chat about what we do here. The bulk of this work is representing you to policymakers, to the people who make the decisions about funding, about amplified sound, about developments, and we're here to advocate on your behalf. So please shoot any questions in that realm my way. So thank you folks for joining us and for leading this session. I'm really looking forward to having this available for all of our members, and I will keep everybody in touch. Again, questions can come to my inbox as well. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. Thank you for joining us. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.